Now, Don Blankenship is that disgraced coal baron that ran in West Virginia. He ran in a West Virginia primary. Now, he ran against an establishment candidate and, well, actually two establishment candidates, and he ended up losing the election. A little bit of an upset because there have been people that looked at his chances and said, well, holy crap, this guy could actually win, and he's an extreme candidate. Now, thing is, he lost that primary, and he is, of course, not happy. In fact, he is now going to war with the GOP. Oh, man. Now, Blankenship, as I mentioned, he's a convicted felon. He just got out of prison for conspiring to violate mine safety standards. Now, during his campaign, he's like, yeah, I'm a convicted felon, but it wasn't my fault. No, it was those guys. They ended up conspiring against me to put me in jail for, what I did wrong for ignoring coal dust, which is apparently explosive, and poor ventilation systems. He didn't actually want to spend the money in order to follow regulations to make sure that people... I mean, look, if you want to say regulations are a bad thing. That's what Republicans say all the time. Oh, it's the job strangling regulations. They're taking my jobs and they're murdering them. No, the regulations are there so that 29 people don't die in a mining accident when a mine shaft explodes. That's what regulations are for. That's why we have them. That's why we need them. And that's why we put people in prison for violating those regulations. But anyway, aside from all that, right? He's like, no, not my fault. I didn't do it. Somehow you all got together and you made it so that I ended up going to prison. And now the GOP establishment is after me. It's all those guys' faults. It's Cocaine Mitch. Cocaine Mitch. Now, I showed you guys the ad, right? Where he goes after, and he's had a couple of insane ads. One of them talks about Cocaine Mitch and his China people. I'm not kidding. And man, he's an insane candidate. So anyway, he was saying that Patrick Morrisey can't run or can't win in a general election, and that he's saying now that you know what, I'm going to run third party because I can never support Patrick Morrisey. Mr. Blankenship has now said that he has accepted the nomination of the Constitution Party, saying that it's a natural fit for his views. Yes, natural fit for a felon who hates regulation. Congratulations, I guess it is a good fit, because nobody the Constitution Party has ever really nominated had much to do with the Constitution, and a lot to do with, well, we don't want to regulate corporations or make rich people pay taxes. Now, what's funny is that this is a way, I think, in his mind, to try to stick it to Trump. He said, quote, "This time we won't get surprised by the lying establishment. We were assured by White House political staff that they would not interfere in the primary election. Obviously, that turned out not to be true." Well, number one, your main issue is trusting anything the White House staff actually said. If you've been following what Donald Trump does, I mean, look, his Trump White House, or his White House's administration says one thing, Donald Trump comes out and says another. My guess is that Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch, goes and went and pulled Donald Trump aside and said, "Hey, listen, buddy. Listen, Donald, we really need your help on this, okay? We really can't have Don Blankenship win. So if you could just endorse his opponent, that would really help us out. And it would help you out, too, because then you would have a Congress that's not full of Democrats." Now, of course, Blankenship and Morrisey, Morrisey now, they're all running against Joe Manchin of West Virginia. So Joe Manchin is already in trouble. He's a corporate Democrat. He's also very, very conservative. Votes for Trump over 60% of the time. He won his primary against Paula Jean Swearengin, who had zero name recognition, not a lot of money, no media attention. The mainstream media would not cover her because they love the idea of Joe Manchin. So, look, it is very likely that when Blankenship says, Morrisey can't win the general election, he's actually right, but not for any reason that Blankenship tries to purport. He says, oh, he's too moderate, he's too conciliatory with the Democrats, he's too establishment. Well, that's the same problem with Manchin. Manchin is, of course, part of the establishment. He basically is a Republican. So in this race, you have Republican versus Republican, essentially. But at the same time, somebody like Morrisey is so incredibly extreme and, deals with dog whistle racism, basically, with his China people, all that stuff. Look, I think it's very likely that Blankenship is going to be a spoiler in this election. I mean, look, let me go down the numbers here. I think he lost he got about 27% of the vote, and his opponents, Morrisey and one other, I don't remember his name, got about 28 and 30% respectively. So if he runs as a third-party candidate, which he is, there's a good possibility that he'll split the vote, and here comes Manchin on an easy win. Now, look, Manchin already was probably going to win in my estimation, but this just makes it easier for Manchin to pull out a win because he's going to divide the Republican vote. The extreme people are going to go with, or likely go with, Blankenship, and then Morrisey will take the more establishment Republicans. Almost said establishment Democrats. It's a weird Freudian slip, isn't it? Now, let me give you a good example of why I think Blankenship actually might get more of that support. There's West Virginia voters, a good chunk of them, that still think that Blankenship is a good job creator. He's going to be a great job creator. In fact, there was one resident who was on video. He said, and mind you, I have to tell you that he lost 3 family members in that very same mine disaster that Blankenship was ahead of, right? He said of Blankenship, quote, "I want an honest crook." That's Blankenship. Well, there you go. I don't think that support's going to go away, considering how much he ran against the Republican establishment. He wasn't exactly shy about this. Again, he ran against Mitch McConnell, and of course, who embodies the establishment more on the Republican side than Mitch McConnell? So, anyway, that anti-establishment feeling is not going to go away, especially as the policies actually put in place by a Republican Congress are being proven to not help these voters. So, look, Congress is incredibly unpopular. Mitch McConnell's incredibly unpopular. So, look, I think we're going to have to watch and see what happens, how much support he can pull away from Patrick Morrisey, and how much support Blankenship ends up getting. If it's significant, watch out. Things are going to get very interesting in West Virginia. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.